Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at Mega Game 6 Volume 1, a compilation of games for the Sega Mega Drive. This game was released in Europe in 1995, bundled in with some Mega Drive 2 consoles. You get 6 games on this one cartridge, along with a manual that contains instructions for all the titles. Mega Game 6 is actually a combination of two previous pack of games, Mega Games 2 and Mega Games 1, the game I owned before sending to Robbie in a trade. This compilation wasn't actually released in North America, but it's not region locked, so it should work on a Genesis. Well, if it doesn't, you can blame Mark Vergeer, since I checked his list of Mega Drive games with region locking. I'll be taking a look at each game in turn to try and determine if this is a compilation worth picking up.
The first game on this compilation is World Cup Italia 90, a football game based around the 1990 FIFA World Cup. There are two gameplay modes. You can play a test match or try and take your team to glory in the World Cup itself. With licensed teams in the official groupings, this game would probably have been the one to get back in 1990, but today it seems rather primitive compared with the newest entries in the FIFA series. A noticeable difference between this and newer games is the fact that this game takes place from a top-down perspective due to the limitations of 16-bit hardware. It's not exactly ugly, and I think the developers did the best they could given the Mega Drive's capabilities, but it falls far short of the rich 3D experiences we're treated to today. Of course, I'd be the first one to say games aren't all about the graphics, but in my opinion, the gameplay isn't that enjoyable either. I'm not the biggest fan of football or soccer games, so it's not really my kind of game, and to me it all felt rather repetitive and boring after a while. That said, the soundtrack isn't too bad, and the controls are decent, so it's by no means an unplayable game, and maybe it is unfair to judge the game based on today's standards. Something I found interesting was that there's no fouls, so you can just go and take people out. Maybe they should introduce that in real football. I just wouldn't recommend you pick this game up on its own, since there are plenty of better titles out there for those of you that like football. Next up is Golden Axe, a side-scrolling beat-em-up. You get 3 different gameplay modes: Arcade, which I believe is similar to the original arcade game and has a fairly high difficulty level, Beginner, which is shorter and more suited to beginners, albeit without losing a life, and the Duel, where you take on increasingly powerful enemies in consecutive battles. I found all of these modes to be a lot of fun, because Golden Axe has very solid gameplay, which remains enjoyable to this day. You can choose between 3 characters, which obviously boosts the game's replay value, and embark on a quest to defeat Death Adder. Thankfully, the story doesn't get in the way of the gameplay, which basically consists of you slaughtering everything in your path. Graphics aren't anything to write home about, but with a good soundtrack and responsive controls, Golden Axe is a superb beat-em-up, which I recommend to anyone who owns a Mega Drive. The next game on this compilation, Streets of Rage, is another beat-em-up which really packs a punch. Once again, you can choose from 3 characters, each with strengths and weaknesses, as you take on enemies spread across 8 stages. There's a boss at the end of most of the stages, and it's often a challenge working out the best way to defeat them. In addition, the level design is very creative. For example, round 7 sees you taking on enemies on an elevator. As well as your standard attack, you can also call on the police to fire a missile at enemies once per life or level, but it seems kinda confusing as according to the plot, the police are under the control of the criminal syndicate you are fighting against. I guess story isn't really the game's strong point, but I'm not really bothered, as I don't usually care for storylines anyway. Scattered across the levels are items you can use to help you on your quest. Some, like baseball bats, can be used offensively against enemies, whilst apples and chicken can be used to restore health. Apparently, the residents of the city leave their lunch lying around. As with Golden Axe, I'd highly recommend this game to anyone owning a Mega Drive, as it definitely stands out from the crowd of side-scrollers found on the Mega Drive. The fourth game on this cartridge is The Revenge of Shinobi, which would be perfect for those of you looking for a challenge. It's yet another example of the great range of side-scrollers found on the Mega Drive, with great level design and solid controls, along with some decent visuals. Though I can't claim to have experienced everything this game has to offer on account of me sucking into this game, from what I've played, The Revenge of Shinobi seems to be a fun, but hard as nails platformer. The penultimate game we'll be taking a look at is Super Hang-On. I'd echo what I said when I reviewed this game individually. It's an awesome old school racing game. The controls are responsive, the graphics look nice for a game of its age, and the in-game soundtrack, which allows you to choose between several tunes, is a memorable accompaniment to a great game. The two distinct modes, arcade and original, complement each other nicely, with the former being best if you just want to dive into a race, while the latter offers more depth. Last but not least is Columns, another game I previously reviewed. It's considered by many to be Sega's answer to Tetris, and in my opinion it's a worthy comparative to one of the most influential games of all time. I haven't really got anything bad to say about Columns, because the gameplay, graphics, controls and soundtrack are all stellar. It's a great game to pick up and play in short blasts, and it should offer plenty of challenge if you put in some effort. If you like puzzlers, then you'd be stupid to pass up this masterpiece. So, now I've taken a look at all the titles on the compilation, I think it's pretty clear that this is an awesome set of games. I'd highly recommend any of these games, save for World Cup Italia 90, on their own, and if you can find them individually, I think you should pick them up. Therefore, picking up this compilation is a no-brainer. It's available on Amazon for less than £2, and you'll be hard-pressed to find better value for money. There's something on this cartridge for everyone. Those of you who like side-scrollers, puzzlers, and racing games are well catered for, since these games are some of the best the Mega Drive has to offer. If you're just getting into the Mega Drive, this compilation would be the perfect introduction to the system's library, because these games aren't just mediocre games or good games, they're mega games. Overall, I give Mega Game 6 9 out of 10. Okay guys, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll put another video soon. Bye.